How you doing, Andrew? Andrew, right? Yeah, well, hey. All right, well, listen, let's see where we are. Now, you play, okay, you can play the blues, right? Play 12 bars of blues. Let's play some anything. So let's see where you are. Okay. Can you play a shuffle like this?
Shuffle or tour down or something like that?
Shuffle. E. To me, and you can certainly play the chords. Okay. You play mostly with a pick?
Yeah.
Do you ever do any finger style stuff like this?
Sometimes.
Where my thumb is playing the bass? I'm a solo player, so that means when I play, I don't have a bass player. I have to play some bass, I have to play some rhythm, and I use my foot as my drum. Okay, and you certainly, I assume you can play some lead. If I play E, you can play lead. Go right ahead. You are fundamentally sound. What do you, when you are really trying to learn to play something and it's kind of hard for you, what are you playing? What do you practice on? But the difference between practice and rehearsal is when you play stuff you know. Practice is when you're bringing in brand new information, and this is something you've never done before, and you got to train your fingers and your mind to get there. What do you work on?
Probably just a melody.
Okay. Who's your favorite blues musician? Have you met B.B. King?
No, I haven't met him. I met his music.
Okay. Okay. You can play his style?
I can't play it, but I like it.
Yeah, same here. Same here. Okay. Yeah. I play all sorts of music from the heart. It's not just blues, because sometimes I just I want to do something else. Okay. And so I learn all my scales. I play jazz. I play a little bit of it all. But I do a lot of the old blues style. Have you heard of Big Bill Broomsey or the Reverend Blind Gary Davis or any of these old guys who all they played was the acoustic guitar?
Lightning Hopkins.
You play, you know, Lightning. Can you play Lightning Hopkins?
No.
It's kind of like this. When I play, you know, you can always play a whole bunch of notes, and for people who can't play, that really looks good to them. I mean, it just says, wow, look at this guy. But when I play, I try to transmit my feelings out. And a lot of times, it only takes one or two notes to do that. And when people can feel what you feel, it makes your playing better. Okay? And the only other thing you're going to need after that is just being around a lot. If you're around people, if you have life experience, it affects your music. And when you play, all the music you know is there, even though you don't play it. I grew up listening to Stevie Wonder and Temptations. That's all in my favorites. Okay? I'm a frustrated classical player. You ever play classical music?
Yeah.
Like this? It's in my playing. And so sometimes when I'm playing, whether I want to or not, it'll come out. And suppose you were right in the middle of a solo, then all of a sudden you played a little Fury Release. Then you went back to what you were playing. It would grab everybody's attention. Or Beret in E minor. And anytime you're playing and they ask you to come back and do one more song, it's called an encore. You should always play something different from everything you've done all night long. Even if it's not even, if you're not just playing blues or jazz. You try to play something that's completely different because it shows the type of range that you may have. Okay? And then I listen to all the styles, okay? Because I have the time. You ever play flamenco style, where you're playing with your fingers? You ever play calypso style music, like this? I like all of the styles, and so I'll listen and I'll pick up a little bit of all the styles, because whatever you learn to play is going to come out in your music. All you have to do is practice and really get into or feel what you're playing. If you can feel what you're playing, I can feel it. If you're just playing 1,000 notes, it looks nice, but you can't feel anything. And then you'll find somebody can walk up and hit one note, and it'll just go through you like something. You go, wow, what was that? And somebody else will be up there just really working it out. And they're making all these faces and all this kind of stuff. Okay, and the thing is, to me, is to relax, let yourself breathe, and play the stuff that you like. But what you do that I like is, blues musicians, we create an environment for our audience. We don't describe a mood to our listeners. We play in a certain way where we create an environment for them. And once we set that environment up, they fall in line. If you're doing it just right, they'll say things. They'll go, hey, all right, check him out. We call it catcalling, okay? Because it's never quiet at a blues festival. Somebody's always screaming and saying, hey, play that blues. And it's how you transmit those feelings. And I like the way you did that. I do one in A. When I play alone, I have to fill up the space. And singing, I believe that everyone can sing. You just have to find your voice. Don't force it. And one day you'll just be sitting and playing, and you'll just start humming along, and it'll come out very, very slowly. You know, nobody sounds like anybody else. Don't set a singing standard so high that you can't reach it, and you only sound good to yourself. I always try to sing in your natural voice. If you get that down, that's all that's really expected of you, that you sound like yourself. Okay, some people growl and make faces, but they just don't have that kind of voice. It's just like country music. I am not a country singer. I can't sing country. Okay, I put a clothespin on my nose, I gargle with a little bleach. I'm convinced that you must be born to sing country. And so, even though I like country music, I like it all. I don't have that sound, okay? I don't speak it normally. And so I try to stay comfortable, and I try to do things in my natural. And if you do that, you got it. People are going, I'm showing you all kinds of stuff, and most of it to me is kind of fast. You ever play what we call ragtime style, where you use your thumb? You know what the difference is between an electric guitar player and an acoustic player? Most of us acoustic players we use our thumb. When you watch a piano player, their left hand is playing something and their right hand is playing something else. Well, my thumb helps me play with my left hand. For example, you notice this doesn't stop. I've set up, and that's my bass player. I put him to work, and I'm through with him. Now I need to put a melody on top of this. Listen here, folks. And here's my rhythm. So I got lead, rhythm, and bass at one time. And that's the beauty of playing alone. And then when you play by yourself, you only have to get along with one person.